Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attack on Production. Today I, Bancroft, will be being joined by Jimmy and, like always, Fluff.
Howdy.
What's up, people?
And today is the first round of our past local event where Fluff is playing the what I call Hirudegarn Release from Evil, Release from Evil, which is the Broly leader with the Hirudegarn engine, and Austin is playing Cooler Mill.
As always.
Yeah.
He's actually coming off it next week.
Yeah, because of this.
I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when I see it.
Hey, we loaned him the stuff that he needed to run the new deck, so...
I mean, he spent too much money on the mat and sleeves. I don't think...
I mean,
I don't think he's coming off.
Those sleeves are pretty hot, though.
I mean, yeah. I'm not going to lie.
But, like always, before we get into the duel, if you guys enjoy the channel, comment, like, buttons, subscribe. Thanks. All right. So... I see he kept his hand, though.
He kept his hand. He liked his hand. I don't know why he liked his hand. So this was the deck that I profiled. For anyone that watched the profile, I did change a couple things. And just real quick, I added in a third Ribrian and 2 EDKs, so it made the list at a 53. The list is the same otherwise. I'm just running more Ribrian. So the whole idea behind this deck is... over the course of the game, we are going to just waste his resources. And we're not going to, like, totally dump his hand out, but we're going to waste his entire hand.
And I actually really like this take on hand destruction with your Broly deck. Like, it doesn't feel bad to play against, but it feels powerful to play against, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it really has a... Like, the Hirudegarn engine is super good, and it's super difficult to deal with. Mm-hmm. So it's just that constant tick of pressure. And the reason that I'm going through my life here is I was looking for the 1-drop Broly, but that was in my life, so I ended up grabbing a Dodoria instead. But just over the course of the game, being able to freely use your resources to just draw back up to 6 with the constant pressure and cycling of Hirudegarn with the blocking and everything like that, you just eventually, you out-attrition your opponent. Like, you'll notice his hand gets really big compared to my hand, but I'm able to just make him continue wasting resources as the game goes along. That's the goal anyway.
Yeah, like I really like the take on this deck. I know there was a Broly that topped with the Hirudegarn engine recently as well. Yeah, I know you were playing around with the idea fairly early on, I believe, right?
I just hadn't had a chance
in his profile, actually.
Yeah, I had been working on, like, synthesizing the deck list, and I had just been busy with work and didn't get a chance to sit and fully flesh it out. And then, like, I had put together the Revive Coup variant. And I was like, I don't really like how this feels. It's weird. There's a bunch of competing things happening. I just don't like it. And then I'm like, I think I'm going to play the Broly leader. And then, like, the next day, I think it was Eggman or Joey Palladino did an interview with the guy that topped with Broly Hirudegarn. And I was like, well, son of a bitch. Like, now it looks like I'm copying someone.
Dude, I feel that all the time. Like, I'll text Bancroft and I'll be like, "Hey, bro, like check out this deck I'm working on," and then like he's like, "Oh, you gonna put that together for this weekend?" I'm like, "I might." And then like 2 weeks later, I'm like, "I'll finally get around to that deck," and it's like, "Oh yeah, like 4 of them top this weekend."
Yeah.
I understand that feeling, but I do think it's an awesome deck. I haven't seen the other guys' list, but if it's anything like yours, they're both incredible lists.
Someone put in the comments, I think, what their guy ran.
The exact differences in the deck, and it's like 8 cards different, maybe.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But the core is there. I run a little bit more hand destruction. I use the drop super combos instead of draw super combos. I include EDKs in the main. I think he sideboards EDKs. So here, I think I make a mistake. This is a misplay on my behalf. The permanent on the Hirudegarn is you can't attack if you have 3 or less. And I didn't notice it until after this game's done. So Austin, I'm sorry. I don't think it makes a difference. Austin's goal is to not kill me by life. It's to make me mill out. That's what he wants to do over the course of this game.
The problem though is if your cards are milled, like if he mills your cards to 0, doesn't it proc their effects though?
If he negs me, it will. Yes. If he negs out a Hirudegarn, I will get to continue along the chain.
But Cooler really doesn't want to remove battle cards using the neg. He just wants to use them as a target for his milling on his leader.
Yeah.
So it's actually kind of a good matchup on the Cooler side because you put so many big bodies out there that are going to stick, and they're not all that threatening. You know, like one's critical, I believe. Is it the 9-drop that's critical, or is it the 6-drop?
The 6-drop is critical, and then critical. Yeah, and then the 9-drop is just unique blocker.
Yeah, and those guys are just big bodies that
it's almost perfect for getting Cooler's mill off because they're chunky. They don't have barrier. He's not going to kill them unless he pushes hard to attempt to kill them.
Yeah. So it's pretty good on the Cooler side. I experienced I played against his Cooler with Dark Broly, and Dark Broly is very similar with the big bodies that don't really pose that much of a like massive threat other than just they're a big body.
Right.
And it was just he's like, all right, neg that 5, neg that 10, neg that 10, and it's like, okay, I'm still at like 15k on my big boy Broly. Yep. And you're not coming anywhere close to killing it, but I just milled like 5 cards because of that.
Yeah. That's it. That's kind of what happens here. I had to charge Ribrianne. I didn't really want to. I want to awaken as fast as possible here because I would say the big crux to the Broly Hirudegarn deck is that if your opponent slow rolls you and doesn't awaken you, you don't draw extra cards and you eventually fizzle yourself.
Yeah.
Now, granted, you can still go through your chain because you don't have to discard to do that. You can go through the entirety of your chain in your hand, but if you're missing critical defensive pieces like Dormant Potential or a counter Frieza or super combos or revive cards to bring your Hirudegarn back, your opponent can put you in a very controlling situation.
So Broly's second auto is optional, correct?
Yes, when removed it's when removed by skill or KO'd. So I just comboed him off.
Gotcha.
So that's the play is if I'm at 6, I can play him for 1, swing, combo him off. So my opponent can't make me take extra damage.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That seems kind of risky putting that out there against Cooler.
Yeah.
In the case that he negs it out and you have to take 2, but I'm pretty sure it just says you can.
It's one or 2 on the second.
1 or 2. Mandatory.
The first effect is 2.
Yeah.
The second effect is 1 or 2. It's not up to 2. So here I'm going to start climbing the hero chain.
Yeah.
And now you'll kind of see now that I'm on my leader's front side, I'm free to basically dispense of all the cards in my hand in whatever way that I want. I can combo hard with them. I can use them to activate effects. I can do whatever I want. And I'm going to do all this for relatively little energy.
Yeah, that was the thing that surprised me. Going into my matchup with you, which you'll see eventually. I don't know when Bearcroft's going to upload these. I was thinking, okay, it's big bodies. I read over the Broly cards. I know vaguely what they do. But it really surprised me at how energy efficient the deck was.
Yeah. That's what makes Ribrian and Cell's Earth Destroying Kamehameha so good, is because you just have the energy to use them. I initially was going really light on the Ribrian and hand destruction features, but then once I tested the deck, I was like, gosh, I'm ending a lot of my turns with 2 to 3 energy open. I don't run many of negates. I don't run many cards that need to spend energy on my turn. Yeah. So here it's just a matter of like that constant pressure, and I don't want to go super hard in, but now I'm going to start ripping his hand, I think. So I go in heavy on this, and not because I want him to take this damage, but because I'm just trying to use up my hand.
Yeah, you got like, what, 8 cards in there beforehand?
Yeah. So we put the Unison up to 40 on the swing, unless he's going to combo hard. And what I'm expecting here is I'm expecting him to awaken and then arrival in a cooler and neg out my battle. That's what I'm expecting. And then...
You got half of it, right? He's currently choosing the cards to bottom, though.
Yes.
Well, I believe he already bottomed.
I thought you only bottomed one. He might have done 2 of them.
He might too. Well, he might also be considering comboing versus awakening and going ahead and getting various effects off.
Yeah, so here he is awakening. And this actually is what I expected too. I expected the cooler come out, but part of Hirudegarn's chain is that if he negged it out, it could just come. I mean, granted, he won't get hit by it, but then you bring out the next. The 6 drop.
The 4 drop would be next.
Oh, that's a 3 drop. Okay.
Yeah, and I believe I used the Unison effect to pop the Minutia. So I don't have a way to pop out the 3. I don't think, because there's not a target for Broly to also KO.
Not yet. Oh, he did end up taking it, but he went ahead and got himself prepared.
Yeah.
And he's Sensubin as well, so.
Yeah. So he doesn't want to let me move on, so I'll just pay 2, make him drop 2. And then I think I just swing with leader here to get the 2 draws, since he's not putting a battle card on field for me. Or maybe I just pass. But I do think I swing with lead.
You swing with lead, yeah. And he will negate if correct.
Yeah, he'll
which
topo.
Gives you the opportunity to...
Oh, no, it's not topo. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a very dangerous position. Like, it's either he tries to combo out, and maybe he forgot the Broly's a leader effect.
Yeah. And this just lets me continue, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm able to put the 4, swing, and do one of the dirtiest, combos this deck has. Which is swing with the 4 after the 4, tap a green for the 9 drop in the drop area, if I have a 9 in the drop area. And then you KO the 4, play the 9, the 4 searches the 6, and then you have a 6 that can KO 2 battle cards, and you have a 9 that can block drop. And if you KO the 6 while you have a 9 on field, your opponent has to discard 2. Because you can't play another 9, or you can go back to 4 for more aggro, and then go back to 6, 4, 6, discard.
This is him just clarifying that he has since being there as a reminder instead of using dice.
Yeah. And I believe he comboed that 17 to avoid taking that hit.
Yeah. So you went ahead and passed it.
Yeah. I don't think I had the 9 in the drop area just yet.
It's in your hand.
Yeah.
Here he is deciding what to charge next.
Yep. And if you'll watch his hand, his hand will get lower and lower as the game goes along. And that's what this deck does. It's just, Jake called it this deck's inevitability. This deck's inevitability is incredibly high. The longer the game goes on, the closer the hand reaches 0. Now,
I think that's very, very strong, because it lends to put your opponent in a position where they feel secure.
Yes.
Where against a deck like Gotenks, it's like, okay, my hand's good. Okay, I don't have any cards in hand.
Yeah.
In this, it's like, okay, my hand's good. Drop a couple cards. Like, okay, my hand's still good. But like, I can still make a risky combo, or I can go a draw to put more aggro out. Then it's like, oh shit, like I only got 3 cards in hand now.
Yeah.
And then 0.
It's like that meme with the guy slowly putting clown makeup on,
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
And now I'm. It's almost like a boat that has a tiny leak in it. You don't notice there's a problem until it's probably too late. And it just,
way to put it.
Yeah. And so he topos here. I'm like, okay, I'm going to draw big so I can still swing a number of different times. And I think it lets me freely put my 9-drop in the drop area.
Yeah.
Maybe the 9 is already there.
Oh, you already had one in there. Yeah.
I already had one in there. And so then this is going to play out a 6. I should have searched in the deck for one. I think I was just trying to conserve deck size. Since I knew once Cooler got to going, he could theoretically start milling me for 6 to 8 cards a turn, which would just add up.
Yeah, that ended up being one of my game plans when I was playing against you with Dark Broly.
Was to just mill me out?
Yeah, like I knew you were going to be drawing a lot, so I was like, I'm just going to make him drop cards from his hand, and I'm going to try to play defensively and just mill you out.
Yeah.
And like I think that's a sound strategy for any deck that can handle the late game against a deck like Broly Hirudegarn.
If you're running a deck that can maintain the hand size in the late games against this, going through numerous 6-drops, blocking multiple times with the 9, multiple Ribrians, multiple EDKs, then it's an extremely sound strategy.
Yeah.
So now I'm sequencing here because I know, like, I'm going to drop my hand, but there's a couple cards in my hand that I don't really want to lose. So I don't want to overkill on the swings. Like, I think I elect to just swing 6-drop and leader and leave it at that. I think I leave the 9 up for defense. Nope. I just blew up the 6, and I think I make him discard 2.
Oh, you get to choose with that too. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a little nutty.
God, those are 2 good choices against Cooler.
Yeah.
Well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you are. You're going to do it. Yeah.
Well, one thing that I think that he has in his hand, and I don't know it, and I'm not even thinking about it, I think there's an Army Reborn in his hand. And I'm just putting him closer and closer to 2. And where there's not, like, quote unquote hard negates in this deck. If he plays Army Reborn, I potentially just lose the game.
It will clear your board. And then he would get right to you.
Yep, and he'd get a peek at the hand so he could get out an important card.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm not even thinking Army Reborn. Like, it's not even in my head.
I mean, that's how Jake beat me once with his Bulma Gogeta deck. I completely forgot that Army Reborn was a thing. I was like, oh, he's going to try to Broly me. I'm preparing for that.
And I think I've got a charismatic villain in hand, and I think I end up trying to prevent him from doing something, and I end up dropping the charismatic villain as just kind of like I've got a throwaway resource in hand. And not thinking about Army Reborn and getting rid of that Frieza puts me in such a deadly position.
Frieza wouldn't be able to hit Army Reborn.
Yeah.
Army Reborn's an 8-drop.
He is an 8-drop, isn't he? Yeah, so the Frieza wouldn't even help.
Yeah. Like 8 is just such a weird number in this game that there are very few cards that actually touch it.
Very true.
I think does Royal Condemnation hit 8-drops?
It's 7 or less as well.
Is 7 or less?
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, 8 is just such an odd number in this game. Like it
If
feels like it should be counterable, but there's no counterplays that really hit it.
The only thing that I can think of is like Mutaito.
Mutaito,
it still gets the peek at the hand, but
any of the tap ones, but as removal, other than like maybe like a hidden power of the Saiyans, you can hit it, but your opponent can just drop 2 in response.
Yeah. For some reason here, I didn't block. I was expecting him to swing double strike with Jiren. And I was going to block on the Jiren. And then he throws me for a loop. And he just passed. So he activated the +1 on the Jiren, but didn't swing with it.
Interesting.
Because I think he had asked me what the 9-drop did, and on blocker, the 9-drop gets to rip a card out of hand. I skip charge phase because I don't really need 5 energy in this deck. So now my goal is to try to kill that Jiren. Because fuck that thing.
Dude, I underestimate that Jiren every time I see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
You have to give that Jiren respect.
Yeah. Like every time I see it, I'm like, okay, that's Jiren. Like I know his activate battle is like pretty nasty, but I just don't ever think about his plus. Like,
yeah,
they'll just drop it plus, and I'm like, okay, what am I looking at? He's like, oh, that's 20k double strike. I'm like, what? Excuse me, what did you just say to me?
Gotcha.
So here you combos. You're going to use Hirudegarn's effect, I think, right? So Hirudegarn has the effect.
Yeah. So the Unison has the combo killer, and I think I let it go.
Oh, you let that one go. Okay.
Yeah.
There is one you doing this still, I think.
Yeah, and I didn't attack his Unison there. I attacked his lead.
Oh, I just caught that. Yeah.
Because had he activated the effect, it either kills Minosha, which lets me go up, or it just decreases the 9, and I still get to keep the 9. So I think on the 3 coming in, he does do the auto -10 to the 3 coming in.
Which honestly, I think that's just best option. Because what is the 3? What is his power? 15.
15. So it makes him 5.
Yeah. So that protects from. I think you still attack with it, but still, like, it's decent protection.
Yeah. Either he didn't use it on this one, or he used it on, or he uses it on the 4. I can't really remember. And I don't think he topos again. So I think I've got him down to 5 cards in hand. So I'm slowly but surely whittling the cards down.
No, he Mafubas.
He Mafuba the 3. Yeah, that's what it was.
Such a good card.
Yeah.
Like, people forget that card exists. Back in like the set 3, set 4 days, like that card was in every single blue deck, and now you see it solemnly.
Yeah, I still really like that card. I was explaining to someone earlier today that I think that card is just a necessary evil against certain things.
Oh yeah. I remember back in like Broly Chain, the original Broly Chain in this deck, it's like you had Mafuba that your chances of winning went from like maybe like a 60-40, 60 in Broly's favor to like, a 70-30 in your favor.
Yeah.
Like
absolutely.
For 2 energy. Like it's crazy.
Yep.
I found another love for that card after playing Blue Baby for so long. Since it's a 1-drop, it's just
my gosh.
Oh yeah, it's so nasty.
Yeah. It is one of those cards that, despite being like a set 2 card, despite being set 2, is still just as good, if not better now than it was when it came out.
Oh yeah. I remember back playing around set 3, somebody used Mafuba on me, and I was like, this is just the best card in the game. Like, it felt so horrifically broken, and they're trying to explain to me why it wasn't, and I was like, I don't even want to listen to you right now.
Yeah.
That card made me so mad when I was first playing this game, and I'm like, if you guys have fun, like, not getting to enjoy playing your battle cards, like...
Yes.
So be it.
I'm trying to make him take this attack. So I've got it 30, 40, 45, 50, and then I know he's going to -3 on the Unison.
Which that's so good that you can just like bait your ability to move up the chain. Now, of course, you're using the 9, so he can't go up the chain by himself, correct?
Yeah, and he won't kill it here.
Yeah.
You know, it takes the combo down to 25. And then he still has to go. And then he still has to combo up or take one. And then I still have the combo killer. I'm still going to draw 3 off the leader swing. I can +1 on the unison to pop my 9-drop.
You've already +1 this turn, though.
Did I +1 on the unison? Okay.
I'm waiting to see if that's a win or not hit, because that definitely would have changed the results of the game. If he keeps this one card in his hand, it may have changed the result of the game.
Well, he won't keep that one card because I'm going to combo killer. He gets the restand. Combat will finish, so he comboed, negged it, and I actually think that kills the 9-drop. Now he has 1 card in hand. I have 2 open energy. I'll Ribrian.
You've already rebanned twice.
I have another one in the drop area. I think. No, I don't. Do I? Yeah.
Yeah. So the card remaining in his hand is Reborn Army. From the looks, from what I can tell, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I forgot to fast forward this video. That's why it's taking so long. Sorry, y'all.
Yeah.
I just try to think of like stuff to comment on here. Like,
so he takes it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
what changes here is instead of being able to swing with unison, I would have used Tapion to play, or I would have just played the music box, paid 1, and then found the Minutia.
Yeah, I saw it. You had something in your hand. You had one in your hand. Yeah. So you could have still gotten another swing out.
Yeah. So even though that was a misplay, and I fixed it in the next game. So I didn't continue to do that. For some reason in my head it was 2 or less, like it had to be at 3 to attack. But it does have to have 4 counters to attack.
Yeah. Yeah, I do believe you could have just put the music box out, brought out Minutia. That would have opened a counterplay window, but he was tapped out and his unison was at 1, I believe.
Yeah, so he didn't have a counterplay to use.
Unless I'm just forgetting about something, he would not have been able to counter.
No.
So I don't think anything would have changed if.
Yeah, and the cards in his hand was, from the look of it, a Cooler and Reborn Army. So
yeah,
unfortunately, could not combo those off. But yeah, I mean, that is today's duel. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm wrapping up very quickly, mainly because it's already been almost a 30-minute mark. So we'll just go ahead and end it. Last words?
If it burns when you pee, you should probably read your cards.
Yeah, probably should. Fluff?
Yeah. Prime example, read your cards, know your place, fluff out.